We are back.
We're back. All right, cool.
So yeah, two comedians in a parking lot blowing each other.
Minds. We're blowing each other's minds. Bro.
Yes. But they don't know. They can't see shit. As far as they know, while I'm talking, you're down, and while you're talking, I'm down. Stop laughing with my tube in your mouth.
And we're back to that.
Yay. Well, this is gonna be the last 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, last 30 minutes. I haven't gotten this far. Like Pete Holmes says, the last 30 minutes where he talks about religion, and we basically kind of already did that. So, I think this would be like the nice cool down period where we just kind of have like a little ping pong match. So like just 3 topics: favorite movie, favorite musical album, and then just all of them, or either just one, or person who inspires you the most right now.
Person who inspires me the most right now. I'm not sure. I guess I don't really have many inspirations right now. I have a lot of influences. I like right now I started watching Brian Callen stuff. He's fucking hilarious. Brian
Callen is the reason why the Minotaur joke exists. I sat there was like, I want to do something like he would do, and I would sit there going, I need to do something like that. I need to do something like that. And I'm sitting there going, what if I was 7 foot tall with a 5 foot long beard, and then that girl who would pray for my foot would say yes to me asking her out? And then we're like, you know what would also happen? What if I could somehow incorporate EDM music and then a motorcycle, because that's manly, and then it just kind of went in this giant spiral
with you got sick tattoos.
Yeah, like whatever, and it just keeps going in this crazy ass circle, mainly because I sit there and I have a busted foot, so I can't get open my. So that means I'm not afraid of watching a comedy special and then accidentally using their jokes.
You never have to be worried about your dick size because you're half horse.
No, it's half bull. Sorry, it's half bull.
Oh, sorry.
Right,
right.
bull.
I'm thinking of centaur, not
it's
minotaur.
Minotaur. Yeah.
Right. Sorry. Still,
you know,
big old giant mammal wang.
Big old horse dick.
Never have to be self-conscious.
I wonder if there is that one horse that is self-conscious, like I know it's humongous because I'm a horse, but still, it could be better.
That's the definition of my life, of well, it's small in comparison to my leg. But it does, I wish it made my hands look small. That's I wish it was just a Subway sandwich that I could just, I guess I could just be that, I could have that problem where it's I have to date girls with big vaginas now. Because if I don't, I'm gonna kill them. That's, I already have this idea in my head of, because I broke a bed once.
Right.
Because it's it
was a sexual thing?
It was a sex thing. Because
okay.
it was a twin, it was one of those shitty IKEA beds.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so it's so I had that level of ego just walking around fuck yeah, broken IKEA bed. But at the same time I realized I don't think I could date a skinny girl. Like a twiggy kind of even at even if she's 6 feet tall, she has to be at least above 140.
Right.
Because I will hurt someone. I'm pretty skinny and I'm 170.
Right.
So, or actually, I don't know, I bounce between 170 and 180.
Right.
I put on weight really weird. I used to be 200 pounds a month and a half ago.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
I
was 200 pounds a couple of years ago. Well, but for you, it looks like you're a little bit muscle. For me, I look like an Oompa Loompa. You just wanted to push me. I was so fat my boobs jiggled. And I walked.
That kind of happens to me, but that's just because I have I don't know. I think I worked out my chest weird, because I used to be a fat kid, and then I started exercising at when I was a kid, I used to be super fat. There was my siblings didn't make fun of me directly, but they created memes about me through the meme creator apps.
Yeah.
And they would have a group message that I wasn't a part of, and then they would just start showing me pictures of pictures where I had made a funny face, and they turned that into a meme amongst themselves. This is the type of shit. It's wait, what the fuck? I just look at, they start yeah, I have a bunch of these pictures, and it's of me. They're fucking me. It's wait, what the fuck is happening here? And apparently this has been happening for years. When I found out, and I'm you guys are assholes. Fuck you. But it's a joke, I suppose. But it's what the fuck, dude?
Yeah. It's not,
Anyway,
yeah.
like my siblings, my brothers who had never really lost the weight. That's my shot back at them. But my brothers started doing P90X. They're like, hey, you should do it too, and so I started doing it. And so like I've never gotten a 6-pack, but like I've gotten kind of close. Like I've always had like a 4-pack, but I just can't get that last 2.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating. But like I started doing that, and then I started like I stopped wanting to listen to Tony Horton because he gets old.
Yeah.
And so I started doing my own thing. I started like running a lot, and then so I got like super skinny. And like I'll show you my ID cards because this was in high school. Between sophomore and junior year, I look like a completely different person. Like whenever I show someone, they're like, "That was you?" And then I show them a picture of me when I was in middle school, and I was like super fat. I had hand fat. I was that level of fat. I had hand fat. And then like I started exercising, and my body's like, "Oh, this could be like an adult human being," because there's this thing that I've noticed. Like I would imagine Donald Trump hasn't exercised much in his life, so if you saw him naked, like completely naked, he would probably look like a wrinkly, hairy infant. Because that's a thing that happens with fat people. If they never exercise, their bone structure never evolves to be an adult. And that's why it's important to exercise when you're a kid, because they stay in this infant-looking phase, and it's creepy to me. And I see that in girls, where it's like they'll have a big butt, but they still have like infant features. Like they have those baby hands, and not in terms of like their hands are small, but they look like chubby. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's weird. Like, it grosses me out, because it's like, you're just a giant infant that I kind of wanted to fuck before, but now I don't. But, like, girls who exercise when they're young, and then as they grow up, they have, like, hotter bodies, because now the hormones are like, okay, we can work with this. This person is gonna need this later. But when you don't, your body doesn't create the need. It doesn't create it. And people still, like, if you have really good genes, you will still, like, grow and have that good body structure. But it doesn't happen to many people. Like, if you let your body be docile most of your life, it's not gonna grow. It's not gonna change. The genes that engage in your body, that tell your body, okay, longer legs, more muscle, more bone density, more all that shit, that is only created through the need. Your genes have to kick in once that need is created.
Yeah.
What was I saying before that?
No clue, but I learned a lot, and I'm gonna start doing jiu-jitsu now.
Nice.
Yeah.
I tried it once. I liked it a lot because it was funny. I did it with my other friend who's kind of short.
Yeah.
And then like it was interesting because my idea was like, okay, so this whole time I'm gonna be sparring with my friend Will here, and then like 2 jiu-jitsu dudes, one grabs me, one grabs him, and they're like, all right, let's start practicing. And I'm like, what? Because these 2 guys were like close to our height and build, and like the guy that I was wrestling with, he was like, dude's a fucking champion. Like he started like the second he starts choking me out, I'm like, I'm going to tap. Like I start just like tapping immediately. And then, like, while I'm choking him out, he's, like, giving me pointers. He's like, raise your back, put your weight on your shoulders. And I'm, like, doing it, and he's, like, his face is turning pink, and he's, like, tighter. Like, grab your heel. And so I'm putting him in this ridiculous hold, and he's like, okay, there we go. But, yeah, and then after working with him, like, we're, like, bigger, like, 2 bigger bodies, and then I go up to this guy, who's my friend, and he's like a solid 6 inches shorter than me. So he's not short, but he's like 5'9", or he's not 5'9", he's like 5'10", 5'11". And so I start like getting into the position with him where he's like on the ground, and my hands are like on his abs area, and he has to like pull me in and do this whole system. Like he's trying to do it, and I'm trying to like I'm going with it. But the way I was doing it with other guys, that you offer a little bit of resistance, so like they get used to like having to pull, like having to engage instead of like you're going with the motions. Like you should resist a little bit. And so like I was going with it, but I was resisting, and he's like having a hard time. And then when it was my turn to like pull him and throw him around, I just fucking flipped it. I was like roughed him up a little bit, and I had to stop, and I'm like, was that, you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm good. Because, like, I don't know, it's weird. I'm like, I'm heavier, so I had the weight.
Yeah.
Like, that's something I've never, that's why I kind of want to do a martial art. I'm thinking about doing Taekwondo, because, like, I have long legs.
Yeah, there's a Taekwondo place. I don't know if it's just for kids.
Yeah,
but if you walk like straight up that way.
Well, 10th Planet also.
Oh, I'm actually like, I'm planning to go on to 10th Planet.
Yeah, the one on Burbank.
Yeah,
that's the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that I went to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the one that that's the one where Joe Rogan, Eddie Bravo gave Joe Rogan his black belt there.
Yeah,
there's a video of it.
I want to go there just because, like, what if like I get to meet Eddie Bravo? Because like, Eddie Bravo was on Joe Rogan. I know he was on Joe Rogan's podcast. He was also on Joey Diaz's, and he talked about how, like, he was more like, Eddie Bravo was more talking about Eddie Bravo, you know, like how he was when he was a kid. Like, I can relate to this guy so much. I just want to meet him in person, just kind of shake his hand, like, thank you, and just leave.
Yeah, because that's the thing that with famous people, where it's like, if I see them, I think about it, because like a lot of famous people are around the Burbank area.
Yeah, I met the dude from Zoe 101.
Really?
Yeah, they're the kind of heavier set guy who was kind of like the background guy.
Right.
I got to meet. I think the guy from Drill Bit Taylor, like the real thin white guy.
Oh, okay.
I think that was the same guy. One of the guys from TMZ I got to meet, and like a part of me realized you don't want to meet your heroes, you want to befriend your heroes, because your hero's going to see you as a fan and go, oh hey, you want a picture?
Yeah.
They're not going to sit down and have a conversation with you. So if I were to ever meet Joey Diaz, Joe Rogan, Eddie Bravo, any of those guys, I would want to be their friend first. I want to go, can I get a picture with you? No, I want to earn that picture. I want you to go, we should take a picture together. I do not want to go, take a picture. No, we're going to become friends. That's my goal.
I just want to talk to them. Just like be like, hey, like if I met Joe Rogan, I'd be like, hey man, I really appreciate the podcast.
Yeah.
Because I do. It's filled a lot of my time, like a lot of hours in the day when I could have been doing nothing. I supplemented it with his podcast, and I'd be like, I just say thank you for doing this. Thank you. It's helped. And so that's why I
want to do that too, but I also want to get
bad.
I just want to get deeper. I want to get deep. I want to have a deep conversation, and the only way you can do that is become friends. Like you can like.
Well, the only thing is like I'd like to have that conversation, but like I don't know if this person wants to talk to me. Like I don't want to put that pressure on them. If they want to talk to me, I'll talk to them. Because like I've had good conversations with people at where I work at. I met this guy. His name's Sebastian Zorida. He's like a Telemundo person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he came in. He's like, because I work at a phone store. He's like, hey, do you? I've traveled back and forth from Mexico, and I'm looking to set up a plan here. Can I do that? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Let me get you set up. And he's like, and I asked him like, so why do you travel a lot in America too? And he's like, yeah, I asked him, why do you so what makes you travel a lot? And he's like, oh, I'm a movie star. And I'm like, oh, really? He's like, yeah, I'm kind of big in Mexico. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. And so we just got to talking, and I looked him up, and there were like tons of things. And I kind of knew immediately, like, this guy's famous when I started talking to him, because when I saw him, I was like, God damn, I want to fuck this man. He's fucking beautiful. Look him up right now. He's got blue eyes, he's got a beard, he's handsome, he's nice, his Spanish is impeccable, he has a slight English accent, or not like, hello, governor. But he has an accent. He speaks perfect English, but he has like a slight accent that you can barely tell. But he speaks perfect English and Spanish. Yeah. It's awesome. And that's something I've never gotten, because like I grew up, my grandma only speaks Spanish, and she always talks to me, but I just never absorbed it.
Right.
I don't know. I guess it's because I don't practice it, which is the same problem with the education system, is because they'll tell you shit, but they don't tell you to practice it, and they try and make you by creating homework. But if you don't want to fucking do it, then don't do it. Then no. There's no option to say no. And obviously, there needs to be a way where you can't say no if you're just a lazy cunt.
Yeah.
Because there are lazy cunts. You gotta be able to put that like fire in people that makes people want to learn, because people do want to learn. People do want to be educated. They want to understand things. And I think one of the reasons why we have shitty teachers is because they get a shitty pay. Like people, like I've thought about being a teacher,
right?
Because I understand what makes people want to learn. And I thought, like, maybe I could be a good teacher. But at the same time, I don't want to be a fucking teacher. That sounds like a shitty job. And the job is shitty. And that's the problem. You got to make that job better. Do something to make the job better, and we'll get better people. And that's another thing, because someone said that people will make better choices if they're given options. And it's harder for people to make like a critical choice, like an open-ended question. Sometimes they just won't respond because it's too hard.
Yeah.
You do realize that the education system was brought up with a multiple choice questions. That's the whole fucking base. The SAT is done with multiple choice questions. It's not challenging at all. You're given options. We're really good at picking the best option. And that's the thing with the presidency, even with the presidency. It's almost like we're being trained. It's fucking...
We are being trained.
It's like, not drained, trained.
No,
to pick
trained. Well, that too.
To pick the... Did you say trained or did you say drained?
I don't know which one, but either way.
Whatever.
We're being both. We are being both right now, to be honest. We're sitting here, and the people say, hey, eat sugar, eat pills, drink alcohol, don't think. Here's a sitcom with the same thing happens over and over again. By the way, here's a dude who's in charge of you. Now listen to them banter, and whoever you like, who has the loudest voice, you can choose. Oh wait, by the way, as that's happening, all this other crazy shit is happening that we're not telling you. But here, watch your funny little show and watch the men in the suits argue over. Here's a female in there. Now the women are involved. Go argue. We're gonna do some other crazy shit. By the way, we know who's gonna win because it's rigged. We're in a fucked up system.
I just don't like that we can't choose someone that can solve all the problems. Well, because it's like, well, people have different problems, and it's like, well, we can choose what we want, and we can debate over it on the 50-50 issues. That's the hard part. But on other issues, it's like 70-30. On most issues, it's 70-30, and those 30% of people are typically cunts. Like people who don't want abortion to be legalized. I understand, like I'm still conflicted about that one. Right. That one is still weird, but when I see that women who need an abortion, who are at a certain point, they're just like, I can't have this baby. Like there's a great episode of John Oliver about abortion, and they were talking about how this one girl said, okay, I understand that I'm too young to get this abortion, but because I think she was like raped or something, but she's like, I will not have this baby. What can I do? Like, you don't have to prescribe me anything, but if I were to say fall down some stairs, or what could I eat that could force the baby to die, that is fucked up. Because if you feel you're too young, no rape victim should be put in that position. That's so fucked. And imagine how the baby is gonna live if every time you look at that child and you are reminded that you were raped. I mean, think about if like you had a baby by accident. And on you're not going to be sitting there going, oh, hey, the baby knows, by the way, you look at the baby to know that it was an accident. Like, the baby will know. What if someone told you that your dad was a rapist? And I understand it's like, well, it's like, whose choice is it to give up that life? That life can't create that choice. That person could have been Tesla. Who fucking knows? At this point, I understand it's fucked. It's super fucked. It's messed up. But I think if it's under certain circumstances, abortion should at least be a choice. It should definitely be a choice. But I don't think it should be, no, it's bad. Even if it is bad, it should be a choice. It's the same thing, like, the whole reason, like, when you remove the choice, there's going to be an underground thing that allows you to make that choice. Like, can you imagine what an underground abortion ring is going to be? That's terrible, because that's basically what drugs are. You ban cocaine, you ban all this shit, and drug dealers are going to deal with it. And let's say, because if you legalize it, then you don't have to go to that slimy guy, who sells you weed. You just go into a store and they're happy, they're friendly, they know what the fuck they're talking about. They're not gonna hire some fucked up dude who would end up selling weed. Yeah. It's fucked. But basically, you would end up just going to the fucking CVS for your weed or your cocaine or your whatever. But at the same time, I think the drug places that give out mind-altering substances should definitely be put in the public eye, because you need to see what happens. Right. You need to see that if you smoke too much weed, you get fucking retarded. And if you smoke too much meth, you look like a skeleton. You need to see that. I feel like that's important because the public needs to see that. Now you know I can't do meth, but if I smoke a lot of weed, like a lot of weed, at worst, I become, I look like fucking Shaggy.
Yeah, and then like you sleep it off. It might take a couple days amount of depending on how much you smoking or have eaten, but you basically, unless it's laced with something, you will go back to normal. But nobody knows that because people in the government said, okay, we invented this thing called steel, but there's this thing called hemp, which is stronger, and that'll interfere with steel. So we're gonna say hemp is bad. Oh, by the way, we also don't like blacks and Hispanics, so we're also gonna say that when they smoke weed, they rape white women, and then we'll get rid of all the marijuana. Let's go do that. That's a great idea. Let's go do that. And then we got people like Reagan's wife going, say no to drugs. Okay, cool, but me drinking a bunch of alcohol, is that okay?
Coffee and alcohol.
Yeah, and sugar, by the way, which is as addictive as heroin. Don't eat sugar. Watch what happens to you.
There's the two other things that give you as much pleasure as food are sex and cocaine.
Never had cocaine.
It's either sex or heroin, or not sex or it's either cocaine or heroin. One of those crazy intense drugs. Well, how much time do we have, by the way? Because I don't want to.
Like 9 minutes.
All right, we should probably bring this down. We got too amped.
It's getting very like you're like spitting out all this information, and then I'm feeling insecure about being dumb, so I feel like I need to spit out information. I'm like, am I just yelling? I feel like I'm just yelling right now.
No, I'm a loud person. I'm sorry.
No, I'm a loud person too, man. I almost got kicked out of a college class because I started yelling about the ego and how like people nobody teaches us how to handle the ego. So then we're just kind of sitting there just going like, I don't know how to deal with ego or jealousy or all this other stuff, but like the ego, all it is that's the thing keeping us alive. And Pete Holmes talks about how like you should give your ego a trophy. So then he goes, oh, I'm doing my job? Okay, cool, because when your ego doesn't know if it's doing its job and you look in the mirror and go, I'm fat today, or whatever, your ego goes, yeah, you are fat today. Because your brain's going like, how do I make sure you stay alive? Oh, I know, I'll make you feel bad, then you're forced to stay alive somehow. Because it doesn't know how to do its job. You don't give it, guidelines. And I started yelling about that in class because I got excited. And I haven't talked to anybody all day. I started cussing, and the substitute teacher got very mad. But by the way, in a college class, we watch R-rated movies and watch XXX movies. I think you've heard the worst. Pretty sure it's okay if I start cussing a little bit because I'm excited.
You might as well just have been like, hey, has everyone in this room seen Django? has that you've all seen Django? You know how many times he says the N-word, right?
And it's a white dude. You guys remember that? And he almost got an Oscar?
Yeah.
You guys remember that? I think I'm good. It's PC.
Famous people are in this movie, and they respect him, and he curses, and he says nigger all the time. And yeah, I just said it. Whatever, I said it. Leave your hate comments in the find me on Instagram at anthonymartin.com.
All right. Without further ado, thank you, Anthony.
No problem.
We just shook hands. We just shook hands, audio people. And if you're a nutcase like me, I salute you or him.